Good evening, YouTube. It is Friday night. Is it Good Friday? It's always a good Friday, but it's definitely a good Friday because I'm here and I've got myself a nice cold beer. So, is this number 12 tonight? I think it's number 12, isn't it? Live from lockdown. I'm busting for this beer. I won't lie to you, I've been busting for a drink for probably the last 2 hours, but I wanted to save these for the stream. We've got Retro Chef, we've got Gurney, we've got Horatio Van Basten, we've got Gez 5055 PS4 Gamer. Get rid of all them fucking numbers out your name, it's too confusing. So last night we had two guys who hadn't been on the tubes for a very long time. So I thought I'd flip it around and I'd bring you two guys who are on the tubes all the time. So we'll start off with the first member of the TMB.
Hello.
It's NathRetro1. Say hello, introduce yourself.
Good evening. Yeah, great to be here. Thanks for having me on, Dana.
I'll have the check in the post, no worries. I'll buy more beer with you.
Need
so
to.
how are you, mate? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. In the cupboards, this is from the other side of the cupboard, which you don't ever see, with some of my games behind me. And I was going to put some shelves up, but this lockdown shit means I've not been able to do any of that, unfortunately. So,
if you want to have any tips on putting up shelves, Tutti UK is the man to speak to.
Is he?
He's the king of the Boeing shelf.
I've seen that.
Should we get our other guest on? Because he's one of your. I'd like to think he's my friend, but he's definitely one of yours. Should we say hello to him?
Yeah.
Say hello to Sean from Retro Games Revive.
Hello, Sean. Evening.
Evening. How are we doing?
I'm good. Introduce yourself.
Name's Sean. I mean, the channel is Retro Games Revived. Mainly a collector rather than a games player. I'm more into the 8-bit systems, particularly playing games-wise. More the 8-bits, Commodores and Spectrums. The newer systems that baffle me a little bit with all the buttons and what have you, but yeah. I'm no good at COD.
Well, you're going to be a big hit because everyone was moaning because the guys who had on last night, although they've not been on the tubes for a while, they're both pretty much into modern gaming. So a little bit of 8-bit. Well, saying that, Nathan, I know you like your 8-bit systems as well, so we could be going back in time a little bit here.
Yeah, I mean, I was speaking the other day, I don't really have as much time for like modern games because when you downloaded it or you put it in the system to install, it takes about half an hour to do that. By the time you booted it up, I mean, it's just as quick to load a Spectrum game and play, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people give the older 8-bit systems a bit of shit for how long it took for the games to load, but they're nowhere near as long as it takes to install an update.
It takes forever.
I think the biggest problem is I always joke about this. You know, when you put your tape in your Amstrad or your Speccy or something to load, press play, and you know what, I'll go for a piss or I'll go and get a drink, and that second you left that room, the error code come up.
You don't sometimes get the errors on the Spectrum. It just continues to go, but it just stops loading. You're like, oh, it's messed up. It's like drop the beat and it's not going to load now, so I have to start again.
I'm going to be quite controversial now. I'm going to say if there's any sort of systems that must be SD fucking carded, I'm going to say it's the 8-bit systems, purely to guarantee the games will load.
Yeah.
I've gone that way with my Spectrum, and I'm looking to go that way with my Amstrad.
Yeah,
mainly because I've not got fucking space for all them tapes is the main thing.
No,
I wouldn't mind getting a disc, Commodore 64 disc, you know, the disc drive, the big, massive, heavy things. A little bit quicker, obviously, but they're quite pricey at the minute. So
I sold one of those to Cine Steve last year. Last year at Berry, I sold one to Cine Steve.
Yeah.
Oh,
so, 1541 into the model number, something like that on the front. Is that a bit?
All right, I'm getting shit in the comments for my vest that I'm wearing, and I've just cocked them out the corner of my eye. And to be honest, I was wearing this, and I don't know if you've got David Games Played Badly on Facebook. He's took a picture of himself in his shorts and everything in his garden, obviously having a little solo barbecue. And I told him I'm better dressed than him tonight because I've got my shorts and
Hey, jazzy.
Jesus Christ.
But what annoys me is the guy who started taking the piss out of me with my vest is Stu, who's had the same white vest on YouTube for fucking 9 years. If you go back every summer, there's a turnaround on Stu's channel where he pulls out the old Bruce Willis. It used to be white, now it's more like fucking Magnolia vest now.
So like an hour in.
I mean, Nathan looks like he's dressed up for winter with his hoodie on.
Got out a bit of class.
Are you warm, Nate? I'm sweltering in here and I've got window open.
I'm all right.
I'm just waiting.
Cold down south.
I'm waiting for the usual 8 fireworks to go off to tell me the drugs drops arrived in the next street, so they must be late today. The last
two real. I heard you say something like that.
So anyway, I might as well ask you my first question. We've got to 6 minutes and I've not even asked you anything yet. We'll start with Nath. Lockdown, how's it treating you? I know you're still working, but how's it affecting you?
Well, I live out in the sticks and going to the shops, I have to drive about kind of 5-10 miles anyway to get to the shops. But going to the shops at the moment is just a depressing experience anyway, because you have to queue to get in the supermarket. And yeah, there's nothing there anyway. So still working from home. So I'm not getting as much kind of gaming or like YouTubing in as I wish I could. Oh, bless him.
I like to put in there second sexiest.
Oh, so yeah, I'm trying to catch into some gameplay when I can. I've got like the dog who wants to maybe walk every couple of hours because he knows I'm home, so I don't get any peace and quiet to myself. But yeah, doing what I can when I can.
Are you doing much gaming? We'll get onto that second. Actually, we'll ask Sean how he's coping with the old lockdown.
I'm doing all right, mate. Actually, I'm the same as Nate. I'm working more actually than I normally would because I do have to. I'm a painter by trade at work, but I'm covered in security shifts as well.
Painter's not a trade. Painter's not a trade. I'm a fucking plasterer. Plasterer's a trade. You know what the saying is, Sean? If you can piece, you can paint.
Getting plastered.
I'm good at that as well.
Yeah, we can see. But yeah, I'm doing all right, mate. I mean, most nights we're stuck in anyway, regardless of a lockdown. So, you know, just tinkering about, playing games, watching YouTube. So yeah.
You mean the greatest stream on YouTube? Is that what you've been watching?
Yeah, exactly.
The Gebs.
Exactly. The TNB podcast.
No, the Gebs, of course.
Oh my god. No.
We're not going there. Don't worry. How about the rest of your family, Sean? Because I know Joe. Like, obviously, I see her at the events with you, and she's on the channel regularly. Is she still working, or?
No, she's not, mate. But she's playing COD every day. She's better at it than me, to be honest. She's quite.
I can fucking genuinely believe that, to be honest.
Right.
Is it true that you thought COD was a fishing game?
Oh, we love the fishing games. TNB love the fishing games.
I like fishing games. I like Big Bass Challenge. Sega Bass Challenge on the Dreamcast is one of my favourite games. I won't deny that.
You got locked down.
I've told the story on one of the previous.
It's naff.
I used to love the rod. I did. I told everyone on the stream before I bought my Dreamcast second hand off my mate Gammon. But there used to be a market in the local shopping centre. It's long gone now, but there used to be a game stall in there, and I used to buy everything pretty cheap from there. And I bought like my brother when he lived with us, he goes, "Why the fuck have you bought a game with a fishing rod?" I went, "You've not played it yet. You need to have a fucking go."
Expensive game these days, actually. That one with the official fishing rod, it must be about 30-40 quid, I think.
Well, I've got the game. I've not got the fishing rod, so I might hunt one down originally. If I could get one nice and cheap at one of the markets or the boot sale.
Oh, I never see him. Never see him. I wish I had.
No, I've got the official light gun as well because House of the Dead was one of the other games I used to play a lot on the Dreamcast. One of my favourites.
I got the light gun House of the Dead, like massive big box when it came out. I think it was 50 quid from Woolies back in the day. And when I moved out of my parents' house, I think I left the light gun in the box there. and just took the game, and I'm pretty sure they've tossed it now, which is unforgivable.
See, I'm lucky, right? My dad, not so much, although my dad is notorious for fucking filling the sheds up with stuff and tools my old man hoards. But my mom's a bit of a hoarder as well. So they don't throw fuck all away. It just gets put places. Like, I went in the back of the old man's shed and there was a load of my old original SNES stuff and stuff in there, but the fucking box had molded, so I threw the boxes and just kept the car. But my old man's shed, like, we'll tidy him out every summer. And then by the time it gets to next summer, we got to fucking do it again. I'm like, why don't we just throw this away as it comes along? Because my old man's a bugger for saying, we'll keep this fucking half a bag of plaster. And I'm like, why? We're never going to fucking use it. Just fucking throw it away. I said, that's going to be over my fucking black Nike jogging bottoms next summer when we're fucking clearing out the shed again.
Over the Spectrum in the back of the shed.
Yeah, there's nothing that good in there. He was mainly VHSs actually that I wanted off the old man that was in there.
Or wrestling ones.
You went to that that place, didn't you? That Facebook seller, Nath, didn't you, with your mate?
Oh my god, yeah.
That was...
What's his channel name again?
No.
Legacy Depot. I was just looking to see if he's actually in the chat. Yeah. So say hello, TJ, if you're about.
What is he? One of these who just fucking lurks and doesn't write in comments? Because we have a few of them.
No, he's been on the stream a few times when I've been in, and I've just noticed him comment and said hello. But yeah, this is a few months back. He sent me a message and said, "I've just been to this house, and this woman's got all this stuff in like an outbuilding, and it's almost just like a cattle shed. It is just the shittest building." And I was like, it just sounds so unbelievable. And he showed me what he got, and he got like a Vectrex in the box. He said it was like sodding wet, so the box was just, you pick it up and the kind of laminate was just rubbing off because it was that soaking wet. You got a box of Mega CD games, and I can't remember the other things he got. You have to go over and check out his video because he did one after it.
I saw that one where it was like, there was so much stuff in there. But it had just been let to fucking rot away, really.
Yeah, it was just like cement roof, and it had holes in the roof, so water was just coming in and just dripping on stuff. It had like a Lethal Enforcers Mega CD box with the gun in, and she was just so weird. She wouldn't let anybody kind of like have anything to look at. It's like if you want to buy something off her, it's like, oh no, you have to like come back and I'll get a price. It's like, well, either you want it and you want to sell it and make some money off it, or take it inside and like put it on eBay and get good prices for it. But you're not going to get eBay prices for a collector from stuff that's been kept outside in a moldy building.
I had this sort of thing, when I got into selling toys. I literally got into selling toys because I went to a guy's house who my mate Liam knew, and he got tons and tons of toys, and he was going through and he was showing me, and it was quite overwhelming. And the way I see it there is right. Is that stuff is currently worth absolutely nothing to him because he's not selling it. And I just said to him, like, I went, look, there's probably about £1,000, £1,200 in this. I said, I'll pay you $4. And he's going, but why? I said, yeah, but I'm not going to get that £1,200 back like that. It's going to be a long burner. I said to him, I said, if I list it on eBay, you've got to take out all my fees and everything. Or if I sell it to the event, I've then got to pay for a table. I've got to pay for my fuel. I said, so I'm only maximum probably going to double my money. But you're the biggest gainer because I'm giving you 400 quid there. It's gone. It's gone. It's no longer your hassle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the way I would have dealt with that person. I'll say, I'll just go to him. Here's X amount of sum. Either you fucking accept it or you don't. Because currently it's only becoming more devalued to that person because they're not looking after it. They're not taking pride in it.
Had a conversation with him like that. Honestly, had a conversation with him like that to say, like, look, this stuff's been outside. It's been in the barn for God knows how many years. It's untested. Don't know if it's going to work. I mean, there's Amigas and things like that in there. I mean, this barn wasn't insulated. The roof would like sweat because it was a cement roof. It would just get condensation on it at night. So it's like these things are going to go to ruin. You might as well sell them and get some good money for it. But she just wouldn't have any of it. It's the strangest person ever. You just felt really uncomfortable dealing with them. I mean, I hadn't got the kind of money to put down to buy that kind of stuff, so I would have just been interested in a few bits here and there. But she wouldn't sell unless it was in bulk, and wanted like eBay prices for it. It was just the weirdest situation I've ever been involved, and it was an absolute, gold mine. Some amazing stuff, but when you
your mate, right? Here's a tip from me. What
yeah,
you do, you turned up. You don't deal with fucking PayPal or anything. Turn up wedged up and put them notes in front of them, and then you fucking test how much they want to keep it.
we thought about balaclavas. To be fair, I thought that might have been an easier way of doing it.
But the thing is what your mate's got to allow for is a certain high. I reckon a high percentage of that isn't going to be working because the guy was having it to fix anyway. So I'm assuming he bought so much that was already broken anyway. If you know what I mean.
I think a lot of it was, which surprised me actually, because the Vectrex like sudden wet in the box. It took him a good few days to like dry it out and risk turning it on, to be honest, but it worked.
Well, you've got to be careful with the Vectrex anyway because it's got its own built-in. Well, about taking apart the CR and stuff like that.
It took about
one of them things could fucking kill you if it sent the right amount of voltage through you.
Absolutely.
Someone's asked if I've got a mankini on. No, it's not a mankini. Look, I thought I'd show you also. Look, I've fucking finally worked out how all this streaming works. You know what I mean? I need to show a bit of cleavage off, little bit of leg, and the fucking donations will be flooding in. We'll be selling out before no time, I'll tell you now.
Have you got a Patreon?
Yeah. It's called Give Me Your Fucking Money now. I only accept cash, so the tax man didn't know about it. So send me an envelope. I'll put you my address. Well, we talk about people like keeping stuff in storage because your collection is very unique, isn't it, Sean? It's all in a storage unit. It's through your collection, and how it ended up in a storage unit.
It's purely because of no space in this flat. It's only a little flat, 2-bedroom. Obviously, early days, when you do start collecting, it's more manageable. We've got an outhouse just on landing. I used to put stuff in there, but quickly that became a problem with space. And I actually, I couldn't think of what to do. I'm like, well, what is there? And I just Googled it. I thought there must be something that that's available, and I found a few storage companies, and I ended up going with probably the biggest one, Store First. There were a couple of like independent ones, local, but they weren't as good. With the Store First, you get 24-hour access. You've got I'm able to get all my games delivered there because when we're working, I can't take parcels, and I certainly don't want them leaving them on doorstep because our staircase is shared with 6 other flats. But yeah, I mean, in the end, I took this storage unit on, and it was only a small one to start with. I think it was the 35 square feet, and at the time, it was fine. I'm now on to 100 square feet, and I'm running out of room.
Amazing.
Yeah, I've heard a few people have been to your local because you're known as the most generous YouTuber from what I hear.
I don't like.
Is that because
you're
running out of space? Is that because you're running out of space and you need to create some more?
Yeah, offload it.
Who wants a free Xbox?
To be honest, I did. I had so much stuff that I didn't really need, and also because of the space as well, I had to downsize a little bit. So I thought, well, what is my priority? My priority systems to collect for. I love the PlayStation, Sony's. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a load of other systems I do love, but yeah, I have to sacrifice certain things. And yeah, I mean, I wasn't interested in getting money for a lot of stuff, so I was happy to give it away. Yeah.
Eddie's asking if you want the rum, Sean. Can you tell everyone what you're drinking?
I won earlier, wasn't I? I've had a couple of rum cha-cha-chas tonight.
Mortal.
Well, I'll tell you what, how good this beer's going down. I might be on my whiskey by the time we get to the second half of this.
Your lockup's amazing, though, Sean. The stuff you've got in there, absolutely.
Yeah. It's. I mean, I'm lucky. I've got quite a few sought after systems, if you like. 3DOs, Amiga CD2, Jaguar, stuff like that.
I'm after a Jaguar.
You're after one, are you?
Yeah. There's a guy selling one actually locally, but he wants 200 quid for a boxed one. Now I like the Jaguar, but it's not that good a system for me to fucking part 200 quid for.
Yeah,
could have got me one for 160.
I mean, to be honest, I'm not really interested in playing any of the games on most of these systems, and to be honest, it was only other week, wasn't it, Nate? I actually said I'm thinking about getting rid of them.
Oh, yeah.
No.
I was like, no, Sean. No, Sean. You can't do it. It was no, I'm just going to get rid of a lot and do PlayStation 2. I was like, no, Sean.
Yeah.
You can't.
What the fuck? You was going to get rid of a lot and do PlayStation 2? Fucking hell, man.
I know. I was like,
I don't know, miss. I want to let him on. Fucking PlayStation 2.
It was a moment of madness. The trouble is, Dana, that all this time I've had this lockup and it's been evolving. So I haven't had time to actually sit down and think about things. I've just been busy moving stuff around. And it got to a point I thought, right, I've finally done it. And I sat down and I'm looking at me stuff and I'm sports just were running through my head and I'm like, do I really need them? I'm collecting PS2 now. Why not focus all my energy on that? Time, energy, and money. But yeah, it was a bit.
I'll tell you what, Sean. If you want to get rid of your foot, if you're collecting PS2, I'll swap you a load of fucking shit for a Jaguar.
No.
I'll tell you what, I do look. I understand where you're coming from in a way, because I look around my room and I see so much stuff that I'm interested in, and then I'm going to get a load of hate here, but I'll slag it off every fucking stream. My Xbox original stuff, right? Yeah. I look at that and I think you're fucking wasting a very good shelf, because one, I'm never going to fucking play any of you, because I only use my Xbox original for coin ops. And I'm just thinking, you know what I could do? It's lucky that it's like on the lower level, so it's never seen from camera, and I never really bother with it. But I'm always thinking, you're one good system away from me fucking you off. Is that all I think? One good system away from me saying, see you later. I know if Glory Hunt or any of the other flipping Xbox bum boys are watching, they're getting all excited, thinking Dana's going to get rid of his Xbox stuff. Go on then, I'm interested on, because do you collect PS2, Nath?
Not really. I mean, you can kind of see on the shelf behind me there. That's PS2 up there. I mean, I've got some nice PS2, but the majority I've got either from boot sales or from like my childhood. So I've got a lot of games in there that I just don't play. I mean, unlike Sean, I don't have a lot of love for the PS2. I enjoyed it kind of when it came out. Yeah, I enjoyed it when it. Sorry, Sean. I enjoyed it when it came out to get some games, but when I look at some of the other stuff that was out around the time, it just kind of pales a little bit for me. Oh, sorry, Sean. We're going to fall out over that, aren't we?
Oh no, it's fine, mate.
But
we've all got us on.
I've got enough Wii stuff.
Oh, Wii stuff. I tell you what, time to sell Wii now. The price of the Wii, it's never going to get any better. Get rid of it all.
Telling people for months about the Wii stuff, like, there's some quality games.
You can get coasters anywhere £1. You don't need to buy Wii games. You can get coasters anywhere. Go on then, Sean. Talk to me about PS2. Sell it to me as someone who had the system. I won't lie. Some of my favourite games are on there. I love the Devil May Cry series. And I used to play competitive. That's where I got into competitive gaming, was on the PS2, playing FIFAs. Not Call of Duty, not Medal of Honor, but there was a game called SOCOM that I go on about. So it got me into competitive gaming, but I ignored a massive library. So come on, sell it to me. Sell me the system.
Well, I see. I can't really, because I don't play that many games on it, to be honest. It's just collecting. You you see, I love my first-person shooters, so I've got to say, such as COD and Medal of Honor. I actually mentioned the other day to lads, Black. Have you played Black?
Yes,
That's,
yes,
that's
I know.
really,
Can't say I
that's a
played
really
it.
good first-person shooter. What else is it? Brothers in Arms. Is the two Brothers in Arms, Herding in Blood, Road to
Wasn't
30.
Nam was the Nam games? Were they a first-person shooter as well, like the Vietnam games?
Yeah, I know. No, I don't know. I ain't played them. I ain't played them. There's
The
the
PS2 seemed
conflict.
to be the generation of the first-person shooter for sure. They were like 10 a penny, weren't they?
Yeah, there were. But yeah, I mean, it's about collecting for me. It really is.
There's a
I
strong
mean,
statement in the
not,
comments that I want Nathan to answer.
Yeah, I saw it. Well, I can't help see it.
I think the Wii is the worst console ever made. I think that's a strong statement.
no,
Do we have any defense for the Wii? I'm not a lover.
no.
I think it's a really good console. I think that people just don't realize some of the games that come out on it. It's got some really good hidden gem titles on it. And I mean, it's modded so you can play all. Before they had it on the Nintendo Store for the Switch, you could play like all your NES games, your Dreamcast, not Dreamcast, what am I on about? GameCube games, SNES
You could play
games.
your Dreamcast though.
No,
Couldn't you put the discs in the Wii though? You could,
no,
couldn't
I
you?
think I'm just talking shit now, to be honest. No.
Oh yeah.
Generally, no, you could play loads of games on it. I mean, you could play Doom on it. I think you play DOSBox on it and actually run Doom, things like that. I mean, it's so moddable. And when you had all the other systems like Xbox dying from Red Ring of Death, you don't have things like that for the Wii. I mean,
well, I throw this out there then. Do
Go
you
on.
think the Wii is more useful as a system like the Xbox is now? It's moddable.
Yeah, I think it's got some great games for it. I mean, the Wii U as well, HDMI, you can play all your GameCube games through HDMI, things like that. So, yeah, I think it's a great system. I think there's some great games on there. It's just people just don't look past the shovelware.
See, I think the biggest problem with the Wii is what was its main selling point, which was the gimmicky controller, the gimmicky games, is what everyone remembers. So any half-decent title never really got pushed or promoted. It was all like, if it wasn't Mario or a Nintendo first, like, a Nintendo product, I don't think it got promoted the way it probably would have done if said game was then released on another system.
But I think that's the Nintendo quirky style of it, to be honest. They've never kind of gone by the rules. I mean, Xbox and PS4 are very similar in their kind of style. I mean, the controllers are, different to a degree, but they don't really go outside the box with stuff too much. I mean, like, Nintendo's always considered like a second console, but they always do something different. I kind of think of them as a bit more kind of like an Apple to Microsoft. They'll do something a little bit different, a little bit unusual. And yeah, just get away with it. And I think they've got some great games on it.
I just need to do a little bit of admin work at the moment.
Yeah.
If Dylan mentions about any wires, modifications, or playing fucking GameCube in 480p, can one of the fucking mods kick him? Because he had his chance to talk about that shit when he was on the stream. If he's going to fill the comments with it, put him in a fucking timeout. Right. So I'll move on and we'll start with Sean because he's probably going to be a bit longer. Let's talk through your gaming history. What was your first experience of video gaming, and all the way through to where you are now with your collection, and then obviously flip it over to Nate.
Yeah. Right. The first ever system was ZX Spectrum 48K, a little rubber keyboard one, and I got that. It was a Christmas present. I'm not sure if it was the year of release, was it 82? But yeah, it was definitely a Christmas present. It was my main present, and absolutely loved that. I really did. Even my dad, he used to play the games with me, notably Trash Man, Fearless Fred, Fearless Frank, sorry, Fearless Fred, Daley
Right.
Thompson's with Cattle on that. Having to press keys individually like that. I mean, to be honest, I'm surprised that little Spectrum we had stood up to the amount of bashing that it got. But what
Daley
happened
Thompson used to be a joystick killer, didn't he? When it was on joystick, Daley Thompson, fucking hell, I'm doing this on my own stream now. I can call everyone fucking hell.
But what happened was, at some point, we got an interface to run a joystick for all the Spectrum. You had to have an interface plugged in at the back, and I can't remember exactly why, but this interface must I don't know if we moved the Spectrum suddenly and the interface pulled out while the power were on. All of a sudden on screen we have these few pixels, the game froze, and like, oh, what's happened here? So my dad says, well, put interface back in. So put it, completely fried it. I was absolutely gutted at the time. And he knew somebody who got, things cheap off back of a lorry kind of thing. And he says, don't worry, son, I'll get you another Spectrum. And he come home one day after work. He was a painter, tradesman painter.
Not tradesman, not a tradesman.
And
painter slash alcoholic. Painter slash alcoholic.
And he come home and he says, oh, Sean, he says, I couldn't get you the Spectrum. He didn't have any. I went, oh, he says, I don't know what this is any good for here. Commodore 64. Like, oh, yeah. Seriously. I couldn't believe it.
Could have been an Amstrad, couldn't he?
So, for many years then, I was a Commodore 64 hardcore fan. I then moved on to the Master System, onto the Amiga. I got the Amiga one with Next Love. You see, this is the thing. I bypassed Nintendo. I had nothing to do with Nintendo when I was young. And this is why
I'll throw it out there, right? I'll throw it out there. There's very few places in the UK where Nintendo was successful. I think London was one of them. It was massively more, because I have a lot of people who I know who are from London, and they don't talk about Sega. They talk Nintendo, and I think Nintendo must hit that area market-wise big. Whereas, like, I don't want to say your poor areas. Let's say your more industrial areas, somewhere where I'm from, Dudley. Sega Master System ruled. I knew one person who had a Nintendo.
Yeah. To be honest, I honestly can't remember anybody with a Nintendo when I was younger. The 8-bit systems, it was predominantly ZX Spectrum, Commodore, Amstrad. And then the consoles, it were all Sega systems, your Master System, your Mega Drive. And then obviously, I moved on to the Dreamcast in year 2000. And
99,
99.
99. You get it from new?
Well, probably year 2000 when I bought it off this lad, you see. I bought it from a lad at work.
All right.
I'm not kidding. It had everything with it. The keyboard, everything that you could think of at the time. And I wish I'd have kept that. I ended up selling it on at some point, but yeah.
I'll agree with Gurney there.
Yeah.
The only Nintendo system that was when it was the Game Boy, I think that's probably the only thing they really nailed down in the UK was the handheld system.
It was. But yeah, from the Dreamcast, well, and then I got onto PlayStations, and that's basically where I've been at since, up to a point of when I started collecting, and then I went on to any system that I could find until, like I said earlier, until I got to a point where I decided to sacrifice certain systems for space, and that's where I'm at, mate. That's my.
We'll talk about how you got started in collecting and what started that in a bit. We'll come back. We'll come back to that in a minute. Let Nathan have a talk.
Yeah.
No, keep him going while he's up for it.
This isn't the TMB podcast. Just fucking take over here, Sean. How about you, Nate? Sean's letting you talk, so make it quick. I'm only joking.
No, you're right. So, my first ever system I had, I think I said before, was a BBC Micro. I think this is a time when everyone else had Spectrums, and my parents bought me a BBC Micro, which, by standards then, it was a bit kind of like, this is not a Spectrum. But actually, by today, Spectrums are all over the place, and you can't get a BBC Micro. But I bloody love that system. I mean, it had think I had a floppy disk drive with it and about 10 games, although I can't remember all of them. I remember ones like Dragon World, and I remember ones that I'd have at school and things like that. But as my friend, I think, who lived across the road from me, had a Spectrum. So my first kind of gaming experiences are that kind of 8-bit era. So it was the Spectrum. I go across the road and play with him, and things like Horoscope skiing. I think there was this kid at primary school as well who'd bring in a game every day and trade it with another kid for a cupcake. Got a playground currency, like swapping Spectrum games for cupcakes. It's just mad. Every single day is swapping his lunch for games. But I think I had that until, because I think we're about the same age then. I think I had that until kind of I was in like about, what would have been, about 12, maybe 13. I saved up and got a Master System, and that thing was just amazing. It was just next level. I mean, like, I think other people had the Mega Drive, I had the Master System, but I got it with the Alex Kidd built in and Sonic 1. So,
do you remember having the BBC micros at school?
Yeah.
Mate? I do.
Yeah.
We'll talk about them actually, because we've not talked about what systems people used in school, so we'll come back to that in a bit.
So I think every school had one of them, and I just remember them. I think it was one day the teachers brought out this turtle thing, which you had to program to draw a picture. You'd have a massive piece of paper that covered the whole floor, and they'd spend about half an hour programming it to draw this circle. And it would just kind of scoot along and draw that. And that must have taken like an afternoon. Never saw it again after that. I think the teachers...
I'm going to throw something really unpopular in there, but we have Margaret Thatcher to thank for that, I believe. I think she was the one who really saw that programming and computers were going to be the big thing in the UK. And I think she was the one who gave BBC the license to put computers in every school.
Yeah.
And I think we've got a lot to thank for in that, because as far as I'm concerned, a lot of the best programmers back in the day were British, and I think they all got kind of headhunted to go and work in America. Yeah. And I don't know which party it was that scrapped programming off the school curriculum, but I think they've sent us back decades by doing that. And knowing through my stepson now, they've tried to bring that back in to schools, but you're not going to feel that until the kids who are like in the lower primary school are learning that until they get to secondary school. Because I don't know if you remember when we was at school now, we had the BBC micro, then we moved on to the Archimedes, and it almost hampered us. It almost hampered us because you'd learn how to do something on the BBC, and then because they changed then computers, you then got to learn how to do it on the Archimedes, and then they eventually moved into PC. So you never really learned to master the system because it was constantly changing.
It just blew my mind with things like that. I mean, they had games like, I think not even a game, like Pod. Do you remember that? Like getting this weird little tomato looking thing to like cry and explode and stuff. Just the most random little thing. You don't remember that?
Granny's Garden. Someone's just mentioned. I remember Granny's Garden, and there was something Crystal Rainforest. Was it Crystal Rainforest that was on the Archimedes? That was like an adventure text game.
I don't think that was another one I remember. I think I went straight from like BBC to like PCs when I went to like high school. To be fair, I don't think our like little primary school had anything like more than a BBC.
We had Archimedes in our last year. Then we had like 3 of them, and I vaguely remember. I'm fucking reminiscing here. I'm sure we collected tokens or something. Like, you know, when you went shopping or something, you used to get vouchers to collect to get your fucking Archimedes. I not remembered that till we started talking about that then.
Is that like Rainbow Supermarkets or something?
So, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was from like Asda or Tesco, one of the big ones, but you used to get a voucher when you spent so much on shopping.
They were doing that for years after. Like, save up computers for schools and tennis rackets and all kinds of crap. You save up 1,000 tokens and get like 1 cricket bat or something.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll let you carry on with your story of your gaming. Sorry, I'm interrupting. I'm just
no, you're all right. So I think after that I moved into Master System, and I like saved up for this Master System forever, and I got it with like Alex Kidd's Sonic 1, and it was Master System 2, which it came with 2 controllers, and it was probably one of the later iterations of it. And I just love that thing. And I got it. I think I got things like Desert Strike for it. Streets of Rage. Some of the games I got. And my parents got me like a load one Christmas, and I just played those pretty much consistently throughout high school until I got bored with it, and then I traded it in for 2 VHS. Like the worst fucking decision ever. Like trading a Master System. I didn't trade any of the games except for Sonic and the console itself. But yeah, 2 VHS. Dumbest thing ever. And then I think at college, was it college? No, I was still in high school. I just decided I'd just buy all the systems like when they came out, except for Saturn. I think I bought like an N64, a PlayStation, and just kind of like went from there, really, just collecting consoles.
The Saturn was so expensive though, weren't it, compared to the others? The Saturn was...
Nobody I knew had one. When we're talking about systems that people didn't have, like there weren't any NESs around when I was a kid. I mean, like, you know, I had the Master System, like the richer kids had the Mega Drive, but I don't remember anyone having a NES, and I don't think I really ever saw a SNES until I got to kind of high school, like later in high school. And yeah, they just weren't about. Everyone around my way was Sega.
Yeah, I remember 2 lads having the Sega Saturn at school, and I felt sorry for him, right? Because there was a lad when we was at school. His dad, kid was called Paul Chamberlain, and his old man used to sell. I think he used to buy 3 PS1 copy games for a tenner. So like every Friday was busy day for him when we all got pocket money. His old man had, like, you know, printed off A4 sheets of the list of the games he could get you. Yeah. We'd all be buying copied games off Paul. You could. I remember Paul Chamberlain, right? Because he was one of the kids at school that used to get bullied up until his dad became the guy who could chip your PS1 and he could get your copied games, and no one fucking bullied him ever again. No one bullied him ever again. Because we all bought out. I remember the fucking it was the original PS1. He did some sort of chip, but you used to have like a biro spring in between.
Yeah. It would press down the case release, so you could have the case lid open. You have a massive spring coming out of it. I remember doing that.
Fucking, but yeah, I remember old man used to do 3 games for a tenner, I think. So it was like £3 something a game, and we'd always go, Paul, just order us an extra one, mate. Just order us an extra one.
But I don't remember anyone actually having a Saturn. I think one of my kind of friends at school was like raving about it, and then it got released and it was never heard of again. And it was such a shame because it's such a cool system, but everyone was so kind of into PlayStation. Like you say, I think the people who had the Saturn kind of soon gave up and just moved over to PlayStation.
The thing was, like at that time when PlayStation 1s could be chipped, I always remember getting my first PlayStation chipped, and somebody told me, "Oh, go to this car boot in Leeds, Cross Green in Leeds. It's quite a rough area, if you like." And I went, and I'm not kidding, every other stall, every other stand was selling copied PlayStation 1 games. It were ace. I loved it. I mean, dirt cheap, obviously.
I remember the booters. Sorry, I remember at the booters there was this guy who was selling floppy disk with like SNES games on them. Like, how the actual hell, like, it fitted.
That would be for the wild card, wouldn't it? You know, the wild card that plugs into the top of the SNES.
But David Retro Games play badly. He's got one. He's got the wild card, hasn't he?
Who's that?
Yeah, but he must have had a small market he was aiming at, because
honestly, like these massive, like great, like boxes you like have at supermarkets with like the lids that flap over, just full of like floppy disk games. I've never seen so many floppy disks in my life.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sean, I cut you off. What are you saying?
Well, it was just amazing, you know. I mean, it was rife, wasn't it? Copying PS1 games at that time.
Well, not just PS1. I mean, you probably remember yourself Spectrum tapes, you know, buying your Spectrum tapes, copying them on.
Yeah. On a TDK 90-minute tape. The best game were always at last one. It was always last one. You have fast forward it, look for counter, right number coming up, and then stop it.
Was there ever another use for the counter?
Days, if you were
when I was at school, we used to have to do like German and French speaking exams, right?
Yeah.
and I'd run out of tape, so I used like one of my old Spectrum tapes to do my German speaking. But I must have rewound it to the wrong side. So when my fucking teacher put it in to listen to my German speaking exam, all she got was game sound loading in the fucking manual. So I think I'd scribbled over whatever game it was written, just writ German speaking and fucking handed it in. I failed German. I didn't give a shit.
Jesus.
I didn't like that teacher either. But anyway, carry on, Sean, about video piracy. Well, not video game piracy.
Yeah, it was funny. I mean, I had to obviously link up with my mate and get us 2 tape decks together, link them up and copy them, you know. But I know some lads at school, their parents must have been a bit richer, and they had one of them i5s with 2 tape decks on one.
Twin
They'd
deck
be able
tape.
to do it quicker than me. Like, go on then, copy me some games then. Seeing as though you've got a deluxe machine
in the big living room in a glass cabinet. Yeah.
I always remember them because wasn't there only the one side you could record on? One side you could you could only record on the one side.
Yeah.
One tape 1 or tape 2.
That must have been tape 2, wasn't it? Because tape 1 was the play one, tape 2 was the other one. You just had to press play and record at the same time.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah.
Mental.
Yeah.
So we'll move away from gaming a sec. We'll talk a little bit about YouTube, and we'll start with Nath. Where did YouTube start with you as a viewer, and then when did you decide to be a content creator? Because I obviously saw you at the events. Was that kind of before you started your channel? I think I knew you before you started your channel.
No, I don't think so. I think I met you after I'd done a channel for a few months, to be honest. It was just something I decided that I wanted to do because I was into gaming, and a lot of people have said it, like, unless you have friends who are into gaming, then you don't really get to talk about it with people. I mean, like, as you get older, your kind of friends move away or they get in relationships and things like that, and you don't have that kind of, you can sit down and game with your friends and things like that. You can do online gaming, but it's a bit kind of antisocial on your own. And when I just started thinking about collecting games, I wanted to get back some of the games that I played when I was younger, like with my brother, and just speaking about it with people. They were so cheap. I mean, I just got the bug for going to the beta. Somebody said, like, oh, I just got all these PlayStation games for like 50p each. And I was like, well, why do you need all them? And they're like, well, why wouldn't you for 50p? I was like, well, yeah, that's a damn good point. Why wouldn't you? So I just kind of started getting into them. And it was a case of sharing what I collected and picked up. But the reason I kind of went into YouTube in the first place, I wanted it to be somewhere I could do gameplay and kind of game with my friends and just record us kind of having fun and just have some kind of a record of it. It's kind of more morphed into actually collecting and things like that, but through actually meeting in the community, I'm sort of gaming and doing VR responses as well as sharing, collecting and knowledge of other things. But I think when I decided to go into doing YouTube, it's been just over a year, actually. I think Christmas before last, I think it was, I looked into doing it, and I didn't have any idea what I was doing, didn't have any video editing software, had no idea. And shortly after that, my computer blew up. A computer I'd had for years I was actually going to do for it. It just, like, the hard drive died. It just completely shot. And I was actually quite lucky because one of my friends who I said about it doing just gave me his old laptop. So I was absolutely stoked to bit. My friend Lee, don't know if he's watching tonight, might do. And yeah, I just started off with that with no kind of skill, just doing some basic videos, no effects or anything like that, just kind of uploading it. And just kind of went from there, and it just kind of snowballed into what it is now, really, which is kind of, I've kind of done my games room and yeah, just collecting for systems. And it's great for the community side because I've learned so much about all these systems I've never had. Like, I never had a Saturn, never had a Mega CD, but now thanks to Sean, I have. Collecting for different systems, people will give you tips, people will give you kind of recommends. Like, you know, Dylan will tell me about Japanese systems that I really need to get.
While we're on Dylan, we flood your fucking phone with pictures of limited run games like he does fucking mine.
No.
I'll tell you what. You know why he used to be in a group with us, right? And before he had his channel and sharing his collection, imagine, right, if he got a certain collection, he wouldn't show you. Here is my, here is my collection. You'd get fucking 3 angles of each game fucking sent to you.
But that's pride, taking pride in it.
You ought to have a fucking channel, mate. In other words, stop filling my fucking phone up with pictures.
But he got there eventually, and this is it. To anybody who's kind of deciding whether or not to do YouTube, just go and do it. From when I started thinking about it to when I actually got a computer, was actually about 3 months, and I think I went to the Doncaster just before my first video. I think I saw some people have been watching on YouTube for a while, like Scott and Toothy.
I think that's where you were talking to me. Is that when you were there with your friend?
No, that was the second one. That was the second one. I've been doing YouTube probably about 6 months, maybe, I think, when I met you. I think that was either my second or third Doncaster since doing it. And yeah, I was seeing all these people who had been watching on YouTube for ages. And I was like, yeah, I can do a video. I can do that. And then the next time I went to Doncaster, I was speaking to these people, they recognized me, and the community is just so welcoming, because when you start doing YouTube as a video, you don't really expect anyone to watch. You don't know what you're kind of getting into.
We'll go into the community in a bit. Yeah. We'll go into the community in a bit, that journey's gone. So, Sean, what was the beginning of your YouTube journey then? Was you a watcher first and then create a channel, or did you just think, what, fuck it, let's do it?
Yeah, I mean, I had already got well settled into collecting. I'd been doing it for years, but what I was doing was buying job lots off eBay. I was cleaning systems up, and trying to sell them on, just make a little bit of money to further my collection. To be honest, I got fed up of that. Plus, it also became harder to buy cheap job lots. People obviously were getting wise.
I was fucking buying them at the same time. That's why. I'm sure everyone I speak to says I used to buy job lots off eBay. I'm thinking, so did I. So, no wonder none of us can get any anymore. It was all fucking bidding on them again.
I know. I did. I soaked a lot of them up. The job lots, but yeah, that kind of just started to fizzle out. And yeah, I mean, obviously, I was watching YouTube, and I thought, I wonder if there's one collecting. And I believe I actually searched for like somebody with a Commodore collection, and I think very little turned up actually. And in fact, I mean, my memory's quite vague, even though we're only about a year ago that I started. I'm sure Retro Bear did a video on some of his Commodore games, and it might have been his video I saw. And I thought, I've actually found somebody who's, I don't know if I commented on his video or what, but that was the inspiration, I would believe. And I thought, you know what, maybe I can do this, show off my collection. It's all well and good having a collection, but if you've nobody to show it to, what's the point? This way we can share as collections and show each other what we've got and inspire other YouTubers maybe to, well, in Eddie's case, start getting subsets. Welcome to the subset zone. Oh no, it's terrible. But yeah, I started doing videos. I mean, I can't remember what my first video was, to be honest, but I did a joystick collection video on one of them. I think it got quite well received, that one, and that just spurred me on. But yeah, and then it's just gone on from there.
That was your first one I saw, Sean, actually, a joystick one.
Well,
yeah. So I kind of met you through that. Yeah.
The one thing I will say is I probably found both of you through shout-outs, and I think that's a massive part of the community, because it's a lot harder now to find smaller channels. I don't know if it's because the algorithm's changed or what, but when I first started my channel, I used to just put in UK retro gamers or UK car boot hunters. That was how I found everything. Whereas now you get fed all sorts of like the algorithm and the way of finding these smaller channels is so much harder. That's why I think something like shout outs in the community, because if you see a video that you like, you need to share that. You need to share that channel to give them a chance, because that's how I was given a chance, and it's how I imagine people years gone by giving a chance. So shout outs are massive. And what I'm heading towards is your community news, as it's called, and Gernaldinho said it needs highlighting, and it is. It's brilliant. It reminds me of I don't know if you guys know Bearded Manchild. He used to do YouTube. He's kind of gone off it, Craig, but he used to do the tubes at 10, which was a similar thing. That was really good. And what he used to do is, if you hadn't done a video for a couple of months, he'd fucking put your picture on the side of a milk cart and say you were missing. And I think I featured in his first one. So then obviously that almost like calling me out, it made me do a video. So then he put in the next one that I was now no longer missing in action, that I'd been found well and everything. So your community news is brilliant, Sean. And is there another one coming soon? Because I enjoy them. They're good watches.
I try and have a little bit of a laugh with them as well. You know, you've got to do it. You've got to have a bit of humour in your videos. And I've got Nave to thank, actually. You did the news overlay for me, didn't you? You sorted that out.
Barely anything.
That's what I did. I told Nate, I said, I want it to look like a news channel.
I'll tell you something. You make me feel like fucking Jordan, because I'm in it every month. I'm barely out the news.
And your wife,
you're going to be next to as well with this.
It's great, your news thing. The overlay that I did, you absolutely nothing. It's all your hard work, your editing, you're finding people, Sean. It is brilliant, and it deserves the accolades you get from people, because it just highlights these people and channels and events that go up and coming, so people know about it. It should be kind of broadcast further than it is. Really should share it far and wide.
That's it. I mean, that's what it's all about, isn't it? And I had the idea, and I thought that's a perfect opportunity to do that, and give. I try to do a spotlight every episode. What else do I do? Obviously, the YouTuber of the month. Try and keep on top of that, and any other news, But
don't mention YouTuber of the month.
Don't fucking start me tonight. I'm already on my third beer. At least let me get to the whiskey first. Jesus.
Didn't last an hour, Sean. Didn't last an hour.
But what we are talking about, YouTuber of the month, and I'm not about to go on a rant, people. You've both been up for YouTuber of the month.
Yeah.
Did you find that I'll be honest, I found it a stressful time. It helped. What I'll say it did is it helped me become more active and do videos again with humour. So that was the good thing that come out of YouTube of the month. Whether I gained anything from it, like, I don't ever expect to get thousands of subs, but I'd like to think I gained more subscribers because I produced more videos for being up YouTube of the month than I did for just being up for YouTube of the month. Did you guys find it a positive experience? Talk us through.
You're gonna.
Yeah, so it was really nice to be nominated for YouTuber of the month, in the sense that at the time I had no idea what it was. I think Russell Retro Bear put me forward for it. And for me, I think I was the channel with the lowest kind of subs. I'd only been doing it a few months. And so to be put forward for something like that in the right way is really nice, because it just says that somebody recognizes that, you're working hard and you're doing something that people will enjoy and gets your name out there more. I don't think I really got any kind of subs off the back of it, though, to be honest. And I was up against Scott Brand Sega Zombie, but through that, through all the kind of people on there, I got to actually meet and kind of start chatting with Scott, and that was like better than winning it, because I actually got to like speak to somebody and meet people. So more than just frigging numbers on a screen getting you kind of subs that never comment, don't mean anything. I've actually met somebody in the community I can chat to about gaming, who's got a channel that interests me. So I think it's kind of nice that you will meet other people through it, and that's more important than it is kind of just winning it.
Yeah, I'll chuck my 2 pence into that. What I will say, is there was a big deal about me being up against dads and lads, but there was no rivalry between me and Marcus. Me and Marcus spoke to each other. We speak to each other now. He's a great guy. What I will say, I already knew Cine Steve, so I'd already got that kind of friendship with Cine Steve. I knew Cine Steve. I've got to know Marcus better, but the other two guys who were up didn't really like I subscribe to their channel to check them out because I think it's a polite thing to do. Also, I think when you're up, you should vote for one of the other channels. You should cast your vote for someone else, which I did. I voted for Cine Steve because I'd known Cine Steve a long time and I appreciated his collection. But the other two guys didn't. I don't know whether that's because of what sort of people they are. They want to stay to their little corner. But I've spoke to Marcus since. I'm hoping, I'll throw it out there, I'm hoping to get Marcus on here when we can work out his work schedule. But there was a deal made out of me and him being a rival because we were both getting a lot of votes. But just to put that out there, there's no bitterness between me and Marcus. We both get on quite well. And I had a lot of fun doing the videos where I pretended I was fucking trying to win the thing. You know what I mean?
Who did Hulk Hogan vote for in the end?
He voted for, look, right, I'm going to put that fucking straight as well, right? Hulk Hogan retweeted me in 27, right? When I dressed up as him as fancy dress, he retweeted me on Twitter. So that friendship is genuine. Sarah and John Connor, they may have been questionable. So, Sean, did Retro Bear put you up as well, or were you up as a different month? Was it like you were circling around like a TMB member each month, or what? World domination.
Yeah, little strategy going on. It was David Retro Games Play Badly who nominated me actually. I can't honestly remember who I was up against, but I was up against some good competition. There was no way I was going to win it, but you know, I didn't expect to win it, and to be honest, you know, it wasn't really that competitive for me. I appreciated being nominated, you know, and like you say, it's an honour to be nominated. But winning it, well, you know, I'm not bothered about winning that. It was just a good bit of fun, you know. But yeah.
What I will say is, just for a bit of fun, I did decide that my two nominations I got to pick were two best friends against each other because I just thought that would be kind of a bit of fun rivalry.
Just a troll.
I was putting Gus Newton and Lee against each other. I personally got a real fun kick out of that because I knew they both wanted to beat each other, and I just thought, you know what, fuck it. I've had my moment. Let's cause some chaos for someone else now.
But that's it. I mean, it should just be taken as just a bit of fun, really. It's not like a popularity contest as it should be. And there's so many kind of different channels up against each other, like some collecting, some doing kind of reviews on games. I mean, like, just a way of highlighting those. It's not really so much just who wins it, but just to kind of celebrate those smaller channels, really give them a kick forward into the community.
What I will say, and I know I've said it before, I believe it should be brought back to its original format of 1,000K at the most. But also, I don't think it's benefiting anyone at the moment because it's an American host at the moment who obviously their poll viewers are all American. So all these British channels being up, we're probably not going to, you know, there's hardly any Americans casting any votes. It's all us British voting for people. Yeah. And I think they're not getting anything out of it either because I don't think people are going to their channel with any interest of them. So although everyone's saying they don't want to break away and split it, at the moment it's kind of counterproductive for everyone involved, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, what's the solution then? You know, what way do you redeem it back to how it was, you know?
Well, the only way you can do it, right, is currently it's all British YouTubers winning YouTuber of the month. And if that continues for the next 9 months, all those people that then can be put forward to be the new host, because it's always a previous winner from the year before who get to host the following year. So if someone then gets the vote, they then can, in theory, press reset on everything, which would be my intentions. I'd just say, look, you know what I mean? It's cool what you've been doing, but it needs to go back to where it was for the smaller channel. You know, in a way, they've brought in this new rule about the 3 videos a month. I don't agree with that, but I do agree perhaps maybe at least one video a month to be nominated, so you're at least an active channel. So, you know, it's not someone who hasn't done a video for 3 months. I agree with them there. I just don't agree with how many videos they're saying, because it's not physically possible for some people to do 3 videos a month, and that all depends on the quality you do. Like someone like me who sits in front of a camera, 3 videos is you could do, but someone who then highly edits and does a better production, that would, you know, that could be a way too much for them to do 3 a month. So
that's true.
I think it just needs some sorting out, and I don't know. I don't think there should be 2 YouTubers a month, but maybe looking forward, it probably would be best if that's the case, because I think they have a different agenda for what it wants to be to what I think a lot of people who used to be involved with years ago think it should be. That would be my take on it. And I think it would probably be more benefit to a UK community to be based on smaller channels, because as we were saying before, you know, to get 1,000 subs in this day and age at YouTube, it's a hard graft and a hard grind. And for it to be what it meant to be, it needs to be back down at that level, I think.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, well, Gernaldinho said it's a bad time for people who just do live car boot pickup videos at the moment, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, tell me about it. Oh, miss the booters. Yeah,
well, we'll talk about that if you want. You know, my main thing is boot sales, man, and I'm a hardcore man. I go in December and November. If I, you know, sometimes I go and I just get wet feet. I will grind the booters, and I'll admit, man, I'll get up on Sunday this week and I'll be fucking shaking all night at the boot sale. I might just go and ask some people to put some stuff outside their house, and I'll leave them £1 for it. Just to get that.
Yeah. They do that around my way. It's called yard sales.
They do in the posh areas.
Yeah, not posh. You want some critical animals and a table lamp, maybe.
We'll talk a bit about boot sales then, Nath. Like what are some of your best finds, and you know, why do you like booting so much? I mean, I'll admit I'm addicted to it.
Yeah, I think that's the same for me. I really like going and just finding stuff and not knowing what's going to turn up, because with a booter, it is just the luck of the draw. You can be there 30 seconds before somebody else and get something that's absolutely amazing for next to nothing, or you can just miss out and absolutely kick yourself. But it is almost like an addiction, really, to that kind of to find stuff. Really, don't really find. Well, I have found some absolutely amazing bits actually. Although people have got them cheaper, as I said in previous videos, I've got a boxed NES for $34.95 because I was just scrabbling through all my chains. I had no money with me. I think I just went out for like 30 quid that morning. I think he said somebody wanted 50 quid for it, and I was like, no way. They put it back, and I was like, I'll offer him 30, and he was like 35. I was like, just going through my coppers, managed to get it for just under 35. So I got that. What else have I picked up from there? I did get a load of Dreamcast games for £1 each from this guy at yard sale, which was really nice. What else? I've got Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on the PS2. After my little rant about PS2, I got that for £1 last year, which was an absolute bargain. Absolute bargain. It's a 40 quid game now. Just trying to think. So I had so many good finds over the years.
I got an Amiga CD32 for £10 last year.
Yeah, I'm not going to beat that though, am I?
With a controller.
Did it have a power lead?
No, I had to buy that for 30 quid off eBay.
That's just shit then, really, isn't it?
I know. Fucking. I'll throw this out there. You know when you go to the booters and you see an original Xbox, do you ever see one with the wires? Because I don't know what fucking people are doing. They're always just fucking there, aren't they? Just fucking.
You normally miss the little breakaway cable. You know that little breakaway cable that puts the controller in. That's what was missing on mine. I was like, he's like, I've got the controller. I'm like, you can't plug that into there, mate. It has a breakaway cable.
I've got a confession, right? There's a guy who sells controllers at the job lots, and they're all untested, and they all look like shit. Yeah, so I go through taking them breakaway connections off.
So it's you then.
Yeah, and then he sends them up your way.
Probably. One of the best ones I find was a Spectrum Plus 2. I think I mentioned it in the comments the other week. There was this just green tub sitting on the floor, and I saw the kind of top of it just poking out, and it was a good hour into the car boot. And some of my best finds have been like, later on in the car boot, which is weird because people must have walked past it about 100 times and not picked it up. And I looked in there, and there was a Plus 2 Spectrum and some cables. I think it had one of those Binatone games as well. So the kind of ones that had like Pong, and it had like a gun with it as well. And I just looked at it, and I lifted out the box, and I was like, how much is this? And it was like £5. And I looked, and there was a plug with the end cut off it. So just a plug without a cable. And I was like, oh, it's not going to work because of this. Will you do it for £3? I got it at £4. When I got it home, it had like the power supply in for the Spectrum. It worked absolutely fine, the Spectrum. It had 2 joysticks. It's Binatone game. One of these kind of, though I haven't looked through of it, like a reel of family like film, like you'd have like on a reel-to-reel thing, an old fucking scientific calculator, just loads of other shit in there, which I got for like £4. But I was well happy the Spectrum worked. The Plus 2, that was fantastic.
Me and my mate said you could like almost set up a car boot bingo where if you see it, you check it off. Like one of the things, if you see a Singer sewing machine, 100%. If you hear someone starting a lawnmower or a chainsaw, right? Every time you hear someone say that's brand new, never been used, before you say 100% working. I was playing it last night. Every fucking boot sale. I remember the one guy. Right, this is a funny story. There was an N64 just an N64 on the floor like this, right? And I said to him, "Is it working, mate?" He goes, "Yeah, mate. I was playing Spyro on it last night." I was like thinking, "You're full of shit, mate. Full of fucking shit." And my mate laughs because if someone lies to me, I'm fucking really rude to them then. So I'm thinking, you're trying to con me. And I just went to him and went, you're a bullshitter. And yeah, he goes, no. I went, mate, if you've got Spyro on the N64, I said, I'll give you all the money in my bank for it. I said, because it was never fucking released. And he's going, no, I was playing. I went, mate, fuck off, man. I'll give you a £5 for it or go. My mate laughed to me. Like when
I see Doncaster with that house clearance stall, the massive ones there, I heard somebody say to them, is this working? They're like, absolutely. I'm like, absolutely. I haven't got a fucking clue. Just chuckled to myself and walked off. It was like,
story about that Amstrad that I bought, the mintiest one of all the lot, it wasn't working. There's a problem with the membrane. Fuck me, the dead things that were inside there was unreal. It was like I should have got some of that fucking resin and molded it, all the stuff in. I could have sold them all while playing for the Amstrad. So how about you, Sean? You've been probably booting longer than me and Nath. What's some of your favourite finds other than copy PS1 games?
I mean, I used to do quite a few car boots, but since I've worked at Haribo, I've been working.
Where do you work? Where do you work? Haribo.
Yeah.
The sweets.
Yeah.
Paints the eggs.
Yellow bit in the middle.
Oh, fuck off. How do you have me going then? Haribo?
No. We're fine, mate. Yeah.
I was going to get some free sweets there. Hold on, my boob's falling out.
We get a side boob going on here.
Jesus Christ. First time I see you, mate. I work most Sundays, and so I haven't really been able to get to many car boats. In the last couple of years, there's odd occasion where I don't work a Sunday, and I do try and get to them, but I have nowhere near as much luck as some of you guys. I really don't. Whether it's because I'm probably a little bit later getting there and miss out on all the best stuff. But the one thing I do remember years ago, this is the best find I've ever come across. And it was a Wetherby race course, and got up, me and X, we went and we were having a wander around, and I came across this box of games, and I just shuffled through them, and there were Atari Jaguar, and there were 25 copies of Alien versus Predator, and they were all sealed. And I'm like, so I said to the guy, I says, how much were these? £8. I said, right. I mean, that was a bargain as it was. But I like,
You don't take it though.
I said, will you take a fiver, mate? He went, no, they're brand new then, mate. Brand new. I says, yeah, I know, but it's an old system. No, they're brand new then, mate. £8. Obviously, I paid it, you know what I mean? I was selling them, and this is a thing, I was selling them on eBay. And at the time, I was getting like £40 per game. I think I sold about 5 or 6 of them individually. And then we decided that we wanted an holiday. So I just put them all on as a job lot. Yeah, and they went like that. I remember probably about £200 I got for lot. I mean, I could keep me saying now, but at the time, you know, like, oh, right, we've got.
You didn't even keep one for yourself. Did you keep one for yourself?
No, I didn't keep them.
Oh, Sean.
I don't know.
Schoolboy error there. Schoolboy error.
Oh, you always keep one. Always keep
I
one.
know, mate. I know. Back then, I wasn't so much as a collector, you see. It was more about selling on. So, but that's.
You dirty scalper. So anyway,
keeps us in collecting though. I mean, like if you ain't got lots of money, you can make some money at the booter. That's how you do it. Although I'm not sure selling Jaguar games like that. No.
Look, you're talking to a wheeler dealer himself here. So you know what I mean.
Original Del Boy.
My missus jokes that sometimes it is living with Del Boy. Like I mentioned it on the stream before. Rob, who was on, he sent me to fetch 9 of these small broadcast monitors, 9-inch, fucking 9 of them in my front room, man. My missus said it's like an episode of Only Fools of Horses. She goes, I come back and you've got fucking multiples of things stacked up in the front room. my mate Liam jokes, right, because like every now and then he'll, like when he works on my car, he'll pop in the house. And for ages, there was a Mega Drive 2 holding my front door open. I got a Mega Drive just leaning against the front door. Because I've never known anyone fucking like you.
Mega Drive doorstop.
But I will say sometimes it did get on top of me for a while, and it was a big reason why I wasn't doing videos, because the whole thing got on top of me. But now I've got everything sorted, I'm much more comfortable and happier. So that's why I got the shed. But anyway, Nath mentioned a bit about community when he was talking about YouTube. So we won't talk about community yet. We'll talk about TMB and how that became a thing, and what the fuck does TMB mean? Someone needs to tell me. Start with Nath.
Doesn't mean anything. What's it represent? So it's just a way of like supporting each other and like other channels, and that's what TMB is about. Like in a nutshell, that's pretty much it. It's just the way that me and the guys used to kind of support each other, and that's how TMB came about.
See, I remember it coming around when you were up for YouTuber of the Month, and I thought it was some sort of the Nathan brand or something like that.
There's no I in TMB.
That's quite good, actually. The Nathan brand.
No,
I've got a few, because people
No,
won't tell me the answer. I'll make my own up. Like the Necrophilic Boys was one of them. I told Retro Bear that was one of them.
tell nobody.
Tell nobody.
It's right there in the feed.
but talk about you guys as a group and how you've got together, and plug your podcast, because your podcast's coming on Sunday. Let's have a talk about you as a collective, because I'll throw it out there. You're all a great good bunch of guys. I've met you all, and I've not got a bad word to say about you. There's not many people who I do have a bad word to say about, but when I do say, but you lot are all right.
We're all down to earth, you know. What you see is what you get, and we all have a laugh. I mean, in WhatsApp, don't we? We're all having a laugh all the time. You know, and like I say, like Nate says, you know, it's about like the community. It's all about the community and looking after each other, and that's what it's mainly about, isn't it? You know.
I'm just reading some of the comments. People are putting what it means.
Touching Nobby's balls is a favourite.
Touching Nobby's balls.
No one's got it right, and it's nothing to do with me. It's nothing to do with my name.
I thought it was the new batch, like Gremlins I did or something like that.
No, it's not that.
The nice boys.
The nice boys. Well, we are nice boys. It can mean that if you like. No, because we all got together, like you were saying about shout outs. I'd only started doing YouTube like about, what is it, a month, 3 weeks or something like that. And I got a shout out from Retro Bear. And this was, for me, like, wow, I've never had a shout out before. Somebody's actually watched my videos, liked it, and give me a shout out in their channel. And I was shout out at the same time as these boys, Sean, Eddie, Pete, and Rob. We were all shouted out in the same video. And we all just kind of got talking and chatting through that, because normally when you get shouted out with other people, you kind of go over their channels, have a look. But we all just got talking and all just started, like, you know, speaking to each other, and just like made a friendship through that, really. And then just got on like a house on fire. And just
Eddie set the WhatsApp up, and you know, and then we all got talking through WhatsApp, didn't we?
Well, me and Eddie were talking about it, and Eddie said, like, we just set up a group so we can all chat together, because we were all talking separately at this point. And I was like, yeah, actually, that's a good idea. So me and him talked about it, and he just set a group up for all of us, and we all just started talking through that.
Can I just step in about Eddie? I'm going to throw it out there. He's been a guest on my show now, so I can say what I want about him. I like Eddie. Eddie used to be in a group with me probably long before we met you lot, and I'm in a group with him now. Eddie is actually a very funny guy and twisted as fuck. And I so wish he was like that on his channel, because I would fucking watch it a whole lot more. It comes across as like your fucking kids TV presenter or something like that. Welcome to Eddie's Funhouse. And then he's twisted. The lad is twisted as fuck, and I love him for it. I think he's brilliant.
He's a good lad, Eddie.
I know what you see on people's channels isn't necessarily what they're like in real life. That's the same for everyone. But no, we have a right laugh, and yeah, it's just like everyone on their channel is quite polite to a degree, aren't they?
Is that why I never got an invite?
What's that? You had to make your own live stream, mate.
Oh. I'm the one day in a nation. I am. The OGN.
Dane's 83.
Not 83 anymore. You need to get rid of that one as well.
Not fucking doing it, mate.
Talk to us a bit about the podcast, because ideally I did want to get Rob and Retro Bear on last Saturday to plug your podcast for Sunday.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter anyway, because Retro Bear fucked it up anyway. So hopefully we can get him sorted this week. But talk about the podcast and how that became a thing, and you know, where you'd like to go with that, if you go anywhere, sort of thing. We'll ask Sean first.
Yeah, go on, Sean.
I believe it was Pete Fight 2's idea, wasn't it, Nath? He was really keen on the idea of doing a podcast, and that's how it came about. And we just got talking, and we all pretty much said, yeah, go on, then we'll have a go. I mean, I must admit, I'm a quiet guy. I am really quiet, and yeah, I was nervous coming on here to do this, but yeah, I mean, even so, it's still nice to get involved, you know. And even though I might seem quiet at times, I can just jump in a little bit every now and then. But yeah, I know Rob. He was a bit unsure at first, wasn't he? But he joined in, and now, you know, we're all loving it. Yeah.
Just following on from that, I think it was just something we, you know, kind of like group just discussed doing something all together with all of us, because some of the conversations we have, like you say, off your YouTube channel, they're quite funny, and it is just a lot of banter with mates and things like that. Mm-hmm. And we just thought it was kind of wasted, and we just thought, you know, maybe we should just record some of this. Maybe we could just put some of this, you know, together, you know, what we're doing gaming wise, what we're collecting, talk about things. And yeah, just one thing led to another, and we just decided to do it just as a podcast, all of us talking. We do it like every week just to kind of give it some kind of platform to us. It's every week. We record it. It's put out on a Sunday night. I think it's 7 o'clock, or is it 8 o'clock? I can't remember now. I'm sure Retro Bear.
It all depends what time of the year Retro Bear thinks it is.
The clock's changed, isn't it? In Pacific Standard Time. But yeah, it's on Retro Bear's channel at the moment. We have looked into trying to do it on an actual podcast, but not really found anything suitable and too tight to pay for it, to be honest. So yeah, it's on Retro Bear's channel. Go along and check it out. We've got some previous ones on there now. A few technical difficulties, but it just kind of all part of the fun.
Always technical difficulties with YouTube, especially when it's live.
Oh mate, honestly, like it's normally me just cutting out because I'm out in the sticks. Like my internet will just drop and I'll just disappear for a minute and come back.
I was just about to say your internet's held up really well tonight, but I didn't want to say nothing in case you just fucking disappeared on me.
I'm going to give BT some shit if it doesn't, I tell you.
But it's like, I mean, because we all get on really well, and I think, like Nave says, you know, there's a lot of stuff we say in WhatsApp, you know, and many a time we've said, you know, bloody hell, wish we'd have caught that on a podcast, you know, and shared it with other members of the community, and that was the basis of it, really. That, you know, well, let's do something where we can just talk as we do in WhatsApp, and capture, you know, that enthusiasm, that humour in these podcasts, and share it with you.
It's literally just like having a laugh and some bants with your mates, really. That's just what comes down to it. And we will talk about gaming, talking about what we played. There's some pretty good debates in there as well about systems. So not going to spoil the one for Sunday. But, you know, it's talking about systems and similar to like what you're doing on your stream as well, Dana, just kind of talking about things like that.
Yeah, but what I'll say is it's really cool that you've got your own little corner of you guys together, but I think I'm so glad that you haven't stayed there, because I think sometimes there can be cliques within groups. But what I can say is I speak to all you, like obviously, Nath, you rang me the other day. I've reached out to Sean. I speak to Eddie on a daily. I speak to Dylan. Dylan's not actually a part, but he's a part of fucking everyone's everything. He's like dog shit, he's everywhere. But I like Dylan. But I'm glad you've not like shut yourself off, whereas I know certain parts of the community have done that in the past, and I'm glad there's nothing like that happening. You still interact with everyone, and that kind of leads into my next question. It's probably a double barrel question. How have you found the community, and like how have you found the people have you met? Who did you first meet, sort of thing? We'll throw that to Sean first. But obviously don't include TMB, because we've just had fucking 20 minutes of that.
The majority of people are absolutely fine, and you know, they're real down to earth. That's the main thing. As long as people, for me, as long as people are down to earth and they're themselves, and that's all that matters. Because let's face, most people can see through falseness, if you like, and there is one or two YouTubers who I think we all know who they are, and they're false. They, you know, they're in it genuinely, purely for one goal. It's a shame. It's a shame that, because like this is absolutely, you know, it's brilliant. What you're doing yourself, Dana, like we do. You know, you're getting everybody involved. It's fantastic. Yes.
So who are some of the other YouTubers you've met? Like, obviously, I know you've met myself, you met Stu.
Yeah.
I always think it's important for someone to be... I'm not one for someone who plays a character on their channel, if that makes sense. I like to see the person and judge the person. I like them to be the same person I mean. Like, I'm the same loud gobby twat that you meet in person. I'll save you all saying it in the comments, writing it.
Yeah, well, that's good though, isn't it? You know, like I say, you're being yourself, and that's good. I mean, to be honest, I haven't really met that wider range of people. I mean, there's loads in comments. Oh, I'd love to meet Mr. Bads, Paul, Pete on a retro tip. You know,
what are we talking about, Mr. Bads? He can't dance for shit. Watching Mr. Bads fucking dance last year at Blackpool traumatized me. If it wasn't for the fact I had to spend the fucking rest of the night holding Eddie up because he was fucking knocking everyone over, I'd be shaking in a corner from watching Mr. Bads dance.
See, I went to Blackpool, the event at Blackpool. But did you all stay in the same hotel somewhere, Dana?
No, see, this is the other thing. I never stay in the same hotel as the other lot.
All right.
I don't want their fucking reputation. I want to be able to disappear and go. Sometimes I do, but when we go to, there's a running joke. I stay in the fucking Granny Hotel in Blackpool. It's past the Norbreck in a place called Cleverley. And I reckon when I stay there, I bring the average age down by about 40 years. But they let me stagger in at any. They always give me room number 1 when I stay, and I stagger in, and it's the first room I can just fall in. And the bathroom's massive. The bathroom's bigger than this room here.
It's a wet room.
I think it is. I could just fall into the fucking shower.
Yeah.
But I love Blackpool because I like the piss up as well. There's a few who may have seen me have a drink.
Yeah, that's what I want to experience. You know, a good get together, few drinks, you know, and a laugh.
There'll definitely be one of them when this is all over, 100%. So how about you, Nath? What your opinions on the community and other people you've met? Like, what's your good experiences, etc.?
So yeah, I mean, like, it's just been overwhelming since doing YouTube, meeting all these different people, and everyone's been so welcoming. Like Sean says, you know, the people who are kind of in it to be genuine, and YouTube doesn't have to be this massive kind of editing, like trawling over videos for hours. It is just people talking, just hearing other people's stories is the interesting thing. And you will learn just so much through visiting these other channels, because people have different passions. I mean, like, you know, Sean with PlayStation 2, there's other people like the Saturn, Mr. Badsy likes the 8-bit systems, Scott loves
Retro Bear with the Wii.
Retro Bear with the Wii, obviously. I can't forget that. Al with whatever full set he's not finished collecting for the time being.
I'll tell you what,
Mega Drive.
Al's got a full set of Mega Drive because he's not got a fucking full set up there. I'll tell you now. Fucking couple of sandwiches short of a picnic.
But it's brilliant. And, you know, Pete on the Retro Tip, I haven't met him yet, but I really hope to meet all these people I've met through the channel, because, you know, speaking to people over YouTube is completely different to actually kind of meeting people and get to know them. So I'm hoping to come along to some events when this kind of all ends. I couldn't do Blackpool last year because it was just too far. I'm like a good day's drive away from that, unfortunately. But I'm really hoping to get some other events when this all ends, and just to meet some people. As I say, everyone is so welcoming, and, you know, to say, you know, TMB, that's what we started doing, like just putting it on channels to just kind of recognize them, just to say, like, you know, we've been there, you know, welcome to the community kind of thing. That's kind of really what it meant as such, or what it means in that respect. But it's just brilliant to meet new people and just chat with people, you know, like yourself. When I came and met you at Doncaster, we just chatted
And
for
fucked up my stall.
Fucking Russian, I keep fucking telling you.
Yes, but the Russian bought games. He could fuck up as much as my stall as he liked.
He bought all the good Spectrum games. I was not happy.
That's twice now, Nick, you've ruined Dexter's stall.
He's been involved in ruining my stall twice. This is how the second time went round. Nath squeezes past, and then he calls Pete Fighter 2 over. Come and look at this. I'm fucking Pete Fighter. He just fucking tanked straight through me Pokemon setup.
You shouldn't be stacking.
A little 5-year-old lad looking at Pokemon cards that ended 3 rows down.
You shouldn't have been stacking up like a fucking house of cards. I keep telling you, like, you know.
Look, I had to fit my extra 2 tables in that I hadn't paid for. I had to get as much fucking stuff that I could get on display. That's how it works.
It was a work of art, but seriously, you're asking for trouble stacking stuff that high.
And then I was shooting elastic bands at fucking Sean when he was stood talking.
Cracking shot that. Lee Harvey Oswald will be happy with that.
Well, the first one missed Dylan's head by millimeters. That was like a proper Dennis the Menace fucking aim, that was. So the second one, I looped a bit. I thought I'll just get it to land in the crowd.
It's like fucking worms. You're just playing worms at Doncaster with elastic bands.
Yeah, Joe's listening. I think it's Dexter. Oh, Tom, he's wrapping his head up.
Yeah, because I was trying not to make eye contact, but I wanted to see you all looking around, and you probably saw the back of me with my shoulders chugging away like that, laughing. Look, I've not grown up. I've got a room full of fucking video games. I'm not exactly the most maturest here, am I?
Mallet's Mallet, though. Quality, bit of nostalgia.
Right, I'm going to plug him again. Timmy Mallet, right, he's on Facebook. And every day he does some painting like Bob Ross. And it's called Mallet's Palette. It's the fucking best thing I watch all day. It's called Mallet's Palette.
Do you reckon we can do a response video with Sean?
You know what? I might fucking hassle him and see if I can get him on here. I don't know if he knows anything about video games, but I reckon it'd be my biggest viewed video if I could get fucking Timmy Mallet on here.
It's got to happen. It's got to happen.
I'm going to ask him in the comments. He's painting shit, by the way. I don't want to tell him because he's a fucking legend to me as a child. But his fucking painting's awful. I don't know if it's meant to be abstract or something, but to me, it just looks shit. He ain't Bob Ross.
Jesus.
So the other thing I've been asking everyone is, have you been playing any more games while in lockdown? Now, you two have both been working, but have you been playing anything at all? We'll start with Sean.
Yeah, I've give a couple of PS4 titles a try. From what I call indie developers, the smaller developers. Steamworld Dig's one of them, and This War of Mine, which I did really enjoy actually. I've also been on my Pandora's box, giving that a try.
Every time you say Pandora's box, I think of either fucking what's his name? Oh, Adrian Mole. I'm sure that's what he was after. Yeah. Fucking sexual to me.
Oh,
Pandora's box. Someone mentioned Itsy Bitsy Teeny Weeny by Timmy Mallet, and I know I've got the record down here somewhere.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm flicking through.
I think they're doing your tank top there.
On 17.
Yeah, fuck that. Here we go. I fucking told you I've got it.
It's on the yellow disc, isn't it?
Fucking hell.
The disc yellow.
Nah, the disc's not yellow. This isn't the Timmy Mallet one, I think. I think this is the original one.
No, they.
Clap your hands and stomp your feet. Also on there. Fucking great music. This ought to be in, what's it called? Fucking David Retro Games Played Badly. I ought to do a piss take and just collect the fucking records I've got. Anyway, carry on. I'm sorry to interrupt.
All right, mate. I've been playing some arcade games, but I'm really no good at them no more. Not that I were any good in first place, but I just no patience for them. What games have I give a slap fight? Now I'm sure I used to be pretty good on that in arcades, slap fight. Now I've played it on Pandora's, but I'm absolutely rubbish at it, and I'm pretty much getting killed straight away, no matter how many times I play it. And I'm like, you think I'd learn the enemy attack patterns.
Slap fight. You mentioned that the other day. What is slap fight? I thought it was the game we have at school where you have to hold your hands up like that and somebody slaps you. I thought,
yeah, I know that game.
That's what I thought you was. I was like, surely they didn't make that into a game. That would be the shittest game fucking ever.
We used to play another game called Knuckles where you had to fucking hit each other's knuckles. Yeah. And then there was one called Raps where you got a pack of cards and you used to fucking rap cards. Off your knuckles,
fucking do that. I know Knuckles.
No wonder health and safety got involved at school. Fucking hell.
Is that what it is? Please tell me that's not what it is.
No, it isn't. It's a vertically scrolling shooter. It's not as hard as some of these like Japanese. Well, probably is Japanese anyway. But like the bullet hell kind of games. I think it's a bit more lenient than that. But yeah, I just can't do it. And what else? I'm sure it was another shooter.
Warzone. You've been playing Warzone?
COD.
Yeah, I've been playing Warzone. I love it. I love the plunder. I can't seem to do the battle royale when it starts closing in on you. I don't like that.
See, I'm a big battle royale player, and I've been. I've been playing Fortnite since day one. And I don't care if everyone says it's a kids' game. It's a very hard game to master and become good at. I mean, I wouldn't declare myself master, but what I like and what we've especially found this week, a lot of the lads who are in it, because we've got a little WhatsApp group where it's just all the PS4 Like we either play Fortnite together and we've been playing FIFA. And it reminds me very much when I first started playing on the PS2, these these online games. I used to be part of a clan, and we used to all go on every Saturday night, certain time. There'd be 7 of us, and it actually meant something. And I think as the generations went on, especially PS3, that all got lost, and you just thrown in random games with random people. There's, when we play Fortnite or we play Warzone and we play FIFA, we're all talking to each other. We'll say, "Oh, we'll push this building." Someone will say they've not got a gun, so we'll look for a gun together. It's like teamwork. And obviously, when we play FIFA, we're calling for. It's almost like playing football. You're calling for a fruit ball or something like that, and it's become massively just like Lee Retro Gamer Addicts. His missus actually said to him, I've said it 2 or 3 times, so he's become more social when he's in isolation than he was before. Because we played for 5 hours and it went like that today. All of us just playing FIFA, having a good time and a good laugh. So if anything's come out of like this lockdown, I always say it's weird. We're all a bunch of gamers, but we never play games together. Yeah. So, with Warzone, Sean, you obviously play with your friends.
Yeah, I'll give you the game on Battle Royale, mate.
I enjoy it. I do. Yeah. Al plays in its Operation Hide Behind Dana. What is it? Human they think I'm like fucking John Rambo, and I just go running in. I'll pepper him, and then Al will come in, and he'll graze their fucking knee with a bullet and get the kill. But it's all a good laugh. I've spent a lot of time having a laugh and a giggle, like Carl missing a sitter on fucking FIFA, or me missing a sitter. It's all just good laugh and banter, and it's probably something we wouldn't have done if we weren't forced into this situation. Yeah. So how about you, Nathan? Have you been playing much?
So yeah, I haven't been doing any online gaming. Although I was speaking to Stinny Steve because he's got a Switch as well. We're talking about doing some Switch gaming, so it is something that looking at maybe doing some online gaming with people in the future, because that would be awesome. But I've been playing a few games when I haven't been working. I've really been enjoying playing some Mega Drive games that I haven't played for a while. So I've got an EverDrive for it, so I can play pretty much any game I want. So I had to go on Sunset Riders, and I was absolutely shocking at it. But it's a really, really fun game. I really enjoyed that. I played Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, which as a kid I was amazing on, and I'm fucking dreadful at it these days. What else have I played? I started playing Shadow of the Colossus like about 20 years too late, and that's just
PS2 or PS4.
Yeah, no, PS3 actually. I got the HD one.
Okay, the one I didn't pick.
One in the middle, the HD one. No, I ain't got a PS4. I got a PS2, but I thought I'd play the HD one as it's bundled up with ICO. And I was really enjoying that. It's a really stunning game to look at, but it's one that I've kind of had for ages and really want to play. So I'm starting to get some of these games out that I've had for a long while and looking to play. And I've got Tekken 3 out to do a response to Rob, his Tekken 3 run, and I'm bricking it because I haven't played it for freaking ages. And if I die, I'm just going to be
talking about Rob. I got to stage 7 on Tekken 3.
Did you?
Yeah, but what is because my MacBook is I'm after a charger. I'm currently using a different laptop, so I can't really set up. This laptop's not quite powerful enough for my Elgato. So I had a quick go on his Toka challenge that he did. And I sent a screenshot because I was the only one who finished first and got a good lap time. Because he said to me, have you cheated at that? And I said to him, no, what I've been doing, because I got my little PS1 set up to play because I've been playing Tomb Raider. Just because I thought, you know what, I've not been giving the PS1 so much love. I fancy playing Tomb Raider. So I played that. But one of my favourite games is the original Formula 1, the very first one. I think Michael Schumacher's still at Benetton. Just because I think, although it's not graphically good, the mechanics are very good on that game, the braking and the speed, the feel of speed. So I played that, and I was playing that for hours. And I thought, you know what, I'll play Toka. And that's like, I was in the mood for playing driving games. What I will say, though, because I've got my PS2 on my 24-inch Bang & Olufsen, some games have aged beautifully. Tomb Raider still looks very nice. Resident Evil 1 looks fucking utter shit. I'll throw it out there. It looks awful. I fucking put it on. I was like, is that a face? What is that? And I think that's the thing with the PS1. So some games, especially a lot of the driving games, they've aged quite brilliantly, a lot of them. But some of 3D, and I can almost appreciate what Pete Old School said when he was on the stream. Some of the PS1 3D games have aged badly, and Resident Evil 1 is definitely one of them. It was an ugly game.
Is that where you're gone for the Lara Croft look tonight?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I've also got my gun belt on as well. I told you, man, this is all the bigger plan. This time next year, Rodders, I'll be bigger than the Gebs. You'll all be giving me. You see this down here? It won't be everyone saying good night, Pete, or anything. I'll be having $1, $2, $3, $4. I'll be fucking rolling in it.
Brilliant.
So, are either of you interested in the new current gen? Because we're moving towards the end of the stream. Let's talk about some current game, the current generation. Like, we've had a little bit of a teaser with the controller for the PS5. We've had a little bit of a teaser of what the Xbox is like. Looking at the prices, they're not going to be affordable for me. They're almost like glorified PC prices to me. So how do you feel the way it's going to go?
So when I saw the Xbox, the new Xbox, I just said it looked like, one of these things out of Stanley Kubrick thing, just a massive black monolith. I just don't like the look of it. It, like you say, it just looks like a PC, and it just, it doesn't have that sleek console look. It looks like they're just edging towards kind of PC gaming very much.
I think console gaming, as we know it, is probably at its end.
Yeah, for the most part, I think. Well, it's interesting.
Nintendo's more or less a glorified handheld as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's interesting you say that, because the Switch is very much just kind of, it still bridges the gap. It is almost like a handheld console as such. It's almost like...
But they don't obsess as much about graphically. They're always going to be the least graphically performing in now, I think, Nintendo. And I think they're quite happy being that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. The powerhouses are going to be the PlayStations, your Xbox. Those are going to be the ones that are pushing the graphics. But Nintendo still have the fun games, and that's what I love about them. They can carry themselves well on the games and the design, and it's a really well-built system, the Switch. But when you're saying about newer consoles, I mean, the Switch is probably the only current gen console I really play. I haven't really switched my Xbox One on for ages. I tried to play The Witcher the other day, and it took about an hour to download about 20 gig or something like that, and then I just couldn't follow it.
Hold on, I've got a moth in here. I just want to check to see that Retro Bear hasn't opened his wallet. I think, and this is what's going to haunt Nintendo every generation now, because they're not that bothered about the graphical performances, and they release certain games constantly, like your Animal Crossing stuff. They're always going to be probably looked back on as kiddie consoles, and any AAA games are almost going to be lost in them. I'd probably take that as far back as the Wii.
Yeah, maybe so. That's true for the Wii that I had, because when I got the Wii, I played Zelda, and that looked amazing. But after that, nothing kind of gripped me for ages. And I look back on it, I was like, they released all these games. I didn't know anything about it because I was playing 360 at the time. So, yeah, I completely get where you're coming from with that. But I
almost class Nintendo now as a second console, and I did that with the Wii. Was my second console. My PS3 was my main console. Yeah. My Wii I got for a little bit of fun and novelty. Probably say the same with my Switch.
But with modern games, a lot of them are like download now. So we're just having a conversation about like games and download versus hard copies. But I think, is it the Xbox or one of the systems now doesn't have like a CD drive? One of them.
Is that the newest Xbox? Is it the One S or something like that?
Like that.
Completely download only.
Yeah, but I mean, you have all these games that you can like download, and you have a massive library now on the Switch. It's really kind of taken off in that respect, because everyone thought it was going to be a loser that I spoke to, and it just hit the ground running and just performed really well. But the ones like the PS4 and that, the ones like the PS4 and that, the new PlayStation coming out, PS5, sorry, it doesn't really hold a lot of interest to me. I find myself kind of more enjoying the kind of older games as somebody who can pick up a game and play it for 20 minutes and just really enjoy it, rather than the game that I get absolutely immersed in for like 100 hours. I just haven't got the time so much anymore.
So how about you then, Sean? What's your feel with the next gen? I question how much graphically better they can get. I really think it's going to have to be a VR thing that's going to be the mover for the next generation. I don't know how you feel, your opinion, Sean.
Yeah, I think I heard you the other day mention that, how more realistic can graphics get, we're close now, aren't we? So, but yeah, I do agree that there's got to be something else, another dimension, which obviously is the VR that you spoke about. I don't think that has to take off at some point, to big levels. But yeah, I mean, the new Xbox, I'm undecided, to be honest, on that. And I know in the community news one that I did where I mentioned it, and people's opinions weren't favouring it very well. The PS5, well, we've just yet to see the console. The controller, I must admit, it didn't jump out at me. But I forget who it was. I did watch a YouTube video, and one guy showed you it in all black, and I did think actually that looks all right. It's just the white I'm not keen on. As for the Switch, I mean, I've heard a lot of good stuff about it, particularly from Nath and Pete Fighter 2. They they praise it highly a lot. But I don't know. It's Nintendo. I just don't seem to connect with Nintendo. And I should bet
I'll throw that in while you mention that, Sean. I think unless you want to play Mario, Zelda, Pokemon, and probably Animal Crossing, Nintendo doesn't offer you anything that a better console can't offer you. Maybe Splatoon, but
Zelda.
I just said Zelda. I said it's not one of those. Yeah, it's not one of those franchises. And you're like, I mean, I'll admit I'm a big Mario Brothers fan, but I'm talking Mario Brothers on the NES and the SNES. I like Sunshine. I didn't like 64. I love Mario Odyssey on the Switch, but Zelda, I can take or leave. It's really not for me. And I think I get why people, if they are big into them franchises, then Nintendo is their go-to system. But I think, like you, Sean, if you're not into those franchises, Nintendo doesn't offer you anything that a better console can offer you. That's my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I will be getting PS5. I know they're going to be expensive, but Alice will buy me anyway. I'm a girl.
Is she in background listening? Are these the least subtlest things?
Christmas is soon, just around the corner.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be frightening when we come out of this, because it's going to be like 2 months and it's Christmas.
This summer, isn't it? Mate.
Retro Steph says Nintendo is a family-run business. Every company that we've just mentioned at some point was a family-run business. Nintendo is no longer a family-run business. They are a multi-million-pound corporate business like fucking every one of the other three.
I think it means they just kind of focus on family gaming, though, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you got VR for the Nintendo. You got Labo. You can't miss out Labo.
I've got fucking. Don't talk to me about Labo. My missus bought me Labo, right? And she said, "Oh, you'll be really into that." And I fucking looked in the box for. There's no way I'm building that. Not a fucking million. And it weren't even the little one. It was the one with the big backpack, like the robot.
Oh, the fucking robot.
I'm like, where the fuck am I going to put that? I'm surprised she didn't say, get rid of that little telly you got, that Vectrexy thing. Fuck that off and put your Labo there.
Yeah, I'll have it.
Oh. Anyway, guys, we are coming to the last 5 minutes, and it's been a real pleasure having you on tonight, guys. I've really enjoyed it. It's flown really well. I've enjoyed that. What I like to do is get each guest to say a little thing to the audience who are watching, pass on a message of well-being or whatever, or share it to the community. So if you guys could do that, Nath, if you want to go first, then Sean.
Yeah, so thanks to everyone and Dana for this community, because with lockdown, everyone's been really supportive of each other. And even though we can't get out and about, the support everyone has for each other through talking, through YouTube, through watching other people's videos and that, it's been amazing. Even the little videos like we sent to each other in the group, just saying like what we're doing and up to. It makes a difference, considering you can't go out really anywhere and do stuff, and you can still socialize with other people, which is just brilliant for YouTube. So yeah, we'll get through it. Keep plug in the community, supporting these little guys starting up, because there's loads of people who've come into it that I've seen through channels. And yeah, I'll see you all hopefully for a beer in not too distant future.
Definitely.
Awesome.
Yeah,
How
I mean,
about you then, Sean?
yeah, I mean, I can only pretty much echo what Nate's saying. You know, we're coming up to, well, we're already upon it, the bank holiday weekend, and you know, I know you've heard it all over the news and that, but you know, stay safe, people. It ain't over yet, unfortunately. As tempting as it is out there with this sunshine, nice weather that we're having. But yeah, we'll get there. We'll get through it. And like Nate says, we'll all have a beer after this is blown over.
Also, before I drop you two backstage, Nath, do you want to plug the podcast one last time before I drop you out?
Yeah, so TMB podcast is on the Retro Bears channel. He is in the comments talking at the moment. Go over to his channel, drop him a sub, drop all of us a sub, in fact, just because you're dropping him a sub. But, you know, it's on there every Sunday night. And yeah, just come along. It is just us guys just talking about games, having bants. It's got a little bit of everything. So, you know, come over. You can do it while you're washing up, while you're, you know, gardening or whatever you're doing at home, bit of DIY, just have it on the background, because there's no video. It's just us talking and having a laugh.
Awesome. Thank you. Guys, I'm just going to drop you backstage while I do my outro, and I'll chat to you in a sec. Thank you both again for being on. I hope you've enjoyed it.
Cheers, guys.
Brilliant, mate. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. They have been two brilliant guests tonight. I've really enjoyed that. It's flown by. I want to say thank you to everyone who's currently watching the stream. I think we hit a new peak tonight with numbers of viewers. You've all been brilliant in the comments and active. I'm going to be back tomorrow with another stream at 8 o'clock with two more guests. As Sean said, it's bank holiday weekend. Stay in your gardens, you fuckers. Go and get your suntan there. Tootie, have a beer in your garden. Don't get going out. Stay safe. And Boothie, if you're out there, where the fuck you gone? See you later, guys. End stream. Bye. End stream. Bye.